is too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend. 'Cause I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor.
publisher of the Staten Island Advance. And it is my honor to welcome you to the 50th Annual Women of Achievement. Will you all please remain standing while Monsignor James Doherty gives the invocation.
Before I start the invocation, a little levity. The good owner of this place said to me a few moments ago, when I was introduced to someone else, "Father, stand up."
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you know, I've got a present. I heard about this. I've been looking forward to this all day. And I came out of the operating room this morning, and your parents had picked this out for me to give you.
Good afternoon, and thank all of you for giving me the privilege to be your Lord President for the last 10 years. Thank you very much. I always stand in amazement when I stand here at this award saying that how does the advance find people that so much deserve what they're getting? And today we have 5 more people. We have 5 people, one of which I know personally, Montante, who get up in the morning with one thought in mind. How do I improve the quality of life for the people around me, for the people that have misfortunes, for the people that are not as lucky as I am and my family is.
Advance for the great work you do covering what happened in in this borough, the only borough with a daily newspaper. Trust me. I know the Staten Island delegation, Debbie Rose, our Minority Leader P.L.U.T.O, and Vinnie Iglesias were here today. We've literally had conversations where my press secretary and I have said, okay, this is a big exclusive, let's give it to the New York Times. And then Jimmy and Vinnie will say, and the advance, right? So you are well represented and advocated for. But thank you, Caroline, for everything you do here, for everything you do for education, and in so many other areas on Staten Island. And Brian, thank you for being one of Staten Island's most aggressive advocates in the borough and citywide. Thank you so much. And I also, before I make the presentations, want to recognize your borough president. He is a wonderful, wonderful partner in government. Whether it's dealing with issues of hunger, dealing with issues of hate crimes and violence, education, I have never picked up the phone and called your borough president and heard anything else but yes, when do you need me and where, a really true public servant. Have once again distinguished themselves this year, and I want to thank them for their hard work and their outstanding judgment. Would they please stand as I call their names? Lucille Chazanoff, the Honorable Charles Dorigo, Susan Lamberti.
A nomination letter that said, my childhood was all lumps unless my sister happened to be around. He couldn't count the times he was on the ground, being bruised of body and ego. But then he would hear that voice. Tarzanian, he'd call it. And one by one, the boys that had been hitting me would begin to be thrown and chased, because nobody messed with my sister. Unless, of course, you happened to be a helpless animal. Then there were no gentler hands on the planet. Elizabeth Rooney, Lisa. Please come up. Be nice, she said. Okay, let me throw this out. A multitasker is just one of the many ways to describe this remarkable woman you see sitting here. She has dedicated her life to helping sick people as a hospital recovery room nurse. But she's also dedicated her life to helping sick, helpless, or unwanted animals. Abandoned pets that would die on the street or be put to death in a shelter. But she's a people helper too. Richmond University's Dr. David Herzog calls her one of the finest nurses at the medical center. Yet she's a woman so devoted to a specific cause, giving a voice to the helpless animals, that she has alone found at least 5,000 animals loving homes. Can you imagine 5,000? Of course, as Casey Summer told us in your profile, 16 dogs and 2 cats out of that 5,000 live in your house. But her brother Tommy says Lisa has been practicing her animal magic since she was 7, when she saved a bird with a broken wing. When she set it free and the bird soared into the sky, Lisa cried. And so it began. Decades of caring for God's little creatures that can't care for themselves. Lisa was a rescuer for the Staten Island Council for Animal Welfare for 20 years. And then 10 years ago, she founded her own organization, Pet Lovers United Together as One. It's P.L.U.T.O. Get it? P.L.U.T.O. Another nominator says, you can set your watch as people line up every Saturday at the Petco store in Charleston, waiting for that P.L.U.T.O. van, because it's bringing animals in need of homes. Because Lisa has a sixth sense that guides her in finding the perfect home for the perfect unwanted pet. She works with over 250 teenagers who have earned over 4,000 hours of community service. They learn responsibility, commitment, and compassion. She works with Mayor Bloomberg's Alliance to help stop the killing of healthy animals. She promotes spay and neuter programs. She promotes the trap, neuter, return program for feral cats. You know, when an animal is in trouble, time does not matter. Lisa responds to calls at any time, morning, noon, night, because she's there to help. You give your time, your talent, and your love, and expect nothing in return. In doing that, you make this a better place. Not just for the animals, but for the people who benefit from the love they give. As one of your nominators put it, if I were a stray cat or dog, I'd want to be rescued by Lisa Rooney. But Lisa asks for nothing for her work, but she gets it in the form of the innocence and the unconditional love of so many of the creatures she has saved. Today, I'd like us to show our unconditional love to Lisa as we name her a Staten Island Advance Woman of Achievement. In reviewing our nominations we get for this award each year, and we get hundreds and hundreds of them, I was struck by the first line of one. It said,
that the mayor of the great city of New York and a great friend to Staten Island is here with us today. Mayor Bloomberg.
I've been here for 49 out of the last 50. But I've probably been here for 10 out of the last 10, something like that. But I'm starting a new streak. Anyways, good afternoon, and thank you for that kind introduction. And Brian, thank you for everything you do for Staten Island. You keep Staten Islanders aware of what's going on. You have insightful, well-written editorials, and even once in a while you get it right. To call. I don't call any other editor, but I read the Advance and I care. All kidding aside, he is one of the great journalists around. Elise Diamond, I was lucky enough to honored to give you an award the other night, the Arts, New York Mayor's Arts and Awards for Arts and Culture, and congratulations. And your daughter is following your footsteps. People wondered why the Women of Achievement would have Dr. Oz as their special guest of honor. Ryan worked me over about this and said, you know, can we do this? And I said, why not? It makes a lot of sense after all. Brilliant, accomplished, beautiful women enjoy a conversation with a brilliant, accomplishment, handsome man from time to time. Now, I'm not saying that's why I was invited to speak. We're talking about Dr. Oz. Of course, Dr. Oz is used to being around women of achievement. I had the pleasure of recently meeting one of them on Mario Batali's cooking program called P.L.U.T O. Dr. Oz's daughter, author, television host, and Princeton grad, Daphne Oz. And of course, Dr. Oz is also the go-to physician for another real woman of achievement, Oprah Winfrey. So today's luncheon should be a piece of cake for him. Not that he would ever eat a piece of cake. He is a specialist, and you probably shouldn't eat a lot of red meat. And a few years ago, he was at my house for dinner where we served pot roast. And he said to me, "Thank you for helping my business." In all seriousness, it is great to share the stage with Dr. Oz. He has done tremendous good for our city and the entire nation. As a surgeon, as one of the great teachers of tomorrow's doctors, and a great public advocate for all Americans to get healthier, he is trying to whip all of us into shape. He even worked me over for eating a roll with butter and putting salt on it while we were sitting there. First as an author and now as a host of his very own successful show, which just celebrated its 400th episode. Congratulations. I first met him many years ago when we played golf together. We have a very good friend in common, and I've watched his career flower over the years. He really is a great guy, and you're going to get a great talk from him. And I just wanted to also congratulate Staten Island Advance for hosting this program now in its 50th year. If you think about it, a lot has changed in 50 years. 50 years ago, the Verrazano Bridge hadn't opened yet. The College of Staten Island didn't exist. The Staten Island Yankees were just a pipe dream. And if you can believe this, there wasn't even a Trader Joe's. Let me tell you one other thing that didn't exist back then. When an organization like the U.S. News and World Report does a study of the best high schools in the country, and they pick 13 New York City public high schools, just guess which high school was the best of all the high schools in New York City? Staten Island Tech. That didn't happen 50 years ago. That didn't even happen 10 years ago, but it just goes to show the wonderful job that the teachers in our public school system, particularly here on Staten Island, do every day with our kids. Do one thing. So I think we all have a habit, we've grown into this habit of whipping ourselves, of finding what is wrong in America. And goodness knows, we can always make America better. But just remember, around the world, when people pick up their families and try to move someplace so they can practice their religion, or say what they want to say, or be in charge of their own destiny, they come to the United States, particularly to New York City. Dr. Oz, floor is yours.
The mayor called me, his voice was trembling about 2 months ago. And he said, Staten Island Advance, they called, can't cross them. They've got this Women of Achievement thing going on, and it is one of the premier events that celebrates people who are making a difference. So thank you for calling me. Thank you for standing up for this entity, and thank you for involving me with me today. Now, I have some very personal reasons why I want to come today. The first is that, believe it or not, my family is from Staten Island. Turkish immigrants, but that man married into the Lamoles. So I'll go ahead and please stand up. People that were not in town. They see me too much anyway, but I was educated, was born in New York, fine cannolis. I learned a lot about Italian cuisine, and I used to actually troll for patients in Staten Island. The other reason that I love being around events that celebrate women, and Women of Achievement certainly is a premier example, is I'm one of almost 30 cousins with one boy. So So I grew up with a lot of women protecting me, taking care of me, pushing other things out of the way, and I do my show primarily talking to the women of America. Because you understand the value of sacredness and uniqueness of the temple of the soul, our bodies. Today I want to talk a little bit about this. I brought some videos. I don't have to use them, but I think it makes it more fun if I do. Some of them are animations about how the body works, some of the little clips from the shows. They're sort of fun things. So there are video monitors all around you. And Ken, if you can run the first one up. I'm just going to show you a couple images. So if folks in the back may want to look at me to see it better, I won't take offense. This is my day job. This morning I got up, I went to New York Presbyterian Columbia where I practiced, and I spent a little time doing mental valve surgery. But this event, that picture you have is in the Botanical Park. That's what that little girl that I was honored to do the Pledge of Allegiance with has inside of her, a device similar to that. And we have all kinds of medications and all this stuff. But the number one way we keep those strong is this. Resistance training. Now a lot of folks don't understand, although we control pharmaceutical problems, across the board, if you look at places where people live a long time, Sardinia, Okinawa, Costa Rica, these people live on average age 104 times more commonly than if you live on Staten Island. Their secret they are able to avoid frailty. Daily, rigorous physical activity. So that's that theme. Let's talk about longevity. Next thing.